It was Foster Care Awareness Day at the Capitol yesterday.
Idaho Voices for Children provided lawmakers and the community with education and stories of kids who have been in foster care.
Our Brenda Rodriguez spoke to an Idaho Falls woman raising awareness on mental health in the foster care system. Brenda?
Well, the purpose of the event at the Capitol was to bring awareness and talk about ways to improve the lives of children living in foster care. And just like you mentioned, Justin, mental health was a big topic of discussion.
I just love the fact that someone gave me the opportunity to speak about what I thought was going on that was wrong.
Shalise Hurt grew up in foster care.
I entered care around 15, and I always knew that I had an anxiety problem just because of how I acted, I guess, and depression as well. But while I was in care, it wasn't something that my family necessarily ever talked about.
Mental health was something she had to figure out on her own.
When I turned 18 and was able to take myself to a doctor, I took myself and got diagnosed with depression and anxiety.
And now mental health is something she hopes is talked about with parents and children in foster care.
So many youth that enter care or, exit care end up having mental health issues. So if we are bringing attention to the problem, then we could, potentially prevent the problem from getting bigger.
A conversation she says is important to bring forward to state lawmakers.
It is imperative to bring together Idahoans impacted by foster care community advocates and partners and Idaho's elected officials and agencies to identify priorities moving forward. Now therefore, I, Brad Little, Governor of the state of Idaho, do hereby proclaim February 22nd, 2023 to be Foster Care Awareness Day in Idaho.
On Wednesday, Idaho Voices for Children and lawmakers honored Foster Care Awareness Day at the Capitol.
And it just gives the community, lawmakers, an opportunity to elevate voices of people impacted by our foster care system.
Idaho Voices for Children's recent study shows in 2022, 1,216 children entered foster care in Idaho. 81% entered care due to neglect, and about 19% entered due to physical or sexual abuse.
What we've seen since the pandemic is a rise in those 1 and 2 cases where they're more complicated. The placements are requiring longer degrees, pieces of that nature.
Idaho Voices for Children says the state currently has around 1,119 foster families, but the need for more continues.
It's just ensuring that there are enough families for any child that might need to be put into a placement or be a part of the system, and just ensuring that there's always an opportunity to keep siblings together to ensure that those placements are there.
Keeping siblings together was a movement Hurt led in 2018, and she says she's going to continue to advocate for those in foster care.
I just think it's super powerful that I was ever given the opportunity to talk about stuff that I felt was wrong in care, and that people thought it was important enough to listen to me, so I have been able to make big changes in care.
And this is the 4th time that they've hosted this event at the Capitol. You can read much more about Idaho Voices for Children's mission and also share your story on their website. We'll have a link to that on our website at ktvb.com.
Yeah, love to hear how she's using her voice to help other foster kids. Great job.
Thank you, Brenda.